All right, welcome to News 6 Extra. I am Christopher Heath. I'm over back in the big chair today because issues, things happening, levers were pulled, cords were moved. It's very high-level stuff. Anyway, it's Thursday, August the 14th. We're halfway through the month-ish. Back to school is well on its way. And the tropics, okay, we say it all the time, the tropics are heating up, but the tropics are actually doing things. Michelle Morgan, she's over at the other desk there. Okay, so let's, much in the same way those in my profession like to add the word gate to any kind of scandal, like it's like, it's like football gate and text gate, and, because we're not creative. We need to find a different way of saying the tropics are heating up. Is there a better phrase out there?
Well, the tropics are heating up is a pretty popular phrase. We could say firing up, bubbling up, doing its thing.
The tropics are getting tropical.
Getting tropical, yeah. It's getting busy. We are getting closer to the peak of hurricane season, which we all know it's the first couple of weeks of September. But, the factors are in place here. We're looking at warm sea surface temperatures, also lower wind shear. So Aaron is looking very healthy on satellite imagery. Of course, we'll go through all of that as we go through the forecast. But if you haven't been outside,
I was outside this morning. I walk my dogs every morning at 5 a.m. and It is miserable.
It is so humid out there.
The sun doesn't even come up.
I'm shocked your hair looks so good.
Well, listen, my hair always looks good, even.
Oh, okay.
Even when it's
right.
this long. You see how luxurious
it's
easy,
looking good.
Easy, breezy, beautiful, baby.
Yes, I'm loving it. But the humidity has been pretty bad.
My beard is suffering through the humidity. That's the problem.
Okay, well, that I know nothing about. So. But yeah, because we're seeing lower rain chances, it's kind of a trade-off. Anytime we see lower rain chances, it gets super, super hot out there. And then the humidity just slaps us in the face. So
such is life. All right, I'll let you take us through the old forecast and explain all of this to us. Take it away.
So we're looking at a heat advisory in effect for most of Central Florida, excluding Sumter County. So if you live in any of these highlighted counties, you need to really pay attention to your body. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water because heat index values could reach 108, 109 degrees, and that is very dangerous. It's very stressful on our body. So if you are feeling thirsty and you're outside, it's too late. You're already dehydrated. So you want to make sure you're taking plenty of sips of water as you go about your day. Make sure you're taking care of yourself because the heat, it is pretty bad out there. And as I mentioned before, because of that, we are looking at lower rain chances across Central Florida. But nonetheless, things are looking pretty good for today, your typical summer-like pattern. Now, as we go through the forecast, we are looking at our temperatures in the 90s and upper 80s at the moment. Now, my graphic isn't advancing, but all you need to know, it is going to be pretty hot as we go through the afternoon hours with rain chances, I would say between 30 to 40%. Already beginning to see showers and thunderstorms popping up across Central Florida. So again, you want to make sure you have your umbrella with you because a few downpours are possible. But unfortunately, my graphics, they are not advancing here, Chris. So we're kind of stuck on the heat advisory at the moment, which really tells the story for your local forecast. It's hot.
It's hot out there. Okay, so if I remember the track for young Aaron, E-R-I-N, not A-A-R-O-N, we're going to probably tomorrow sometime afternoonish, it will actually become a full-fledged hurricane, intensifying to a Cat 3 and then turning north, we think?
Yes, so the latest advisory last checked, it is looking very impressive on satellite imagery. So anytime you see those cluster of thunderstorms just really consolidating, you just know it's continuing to strengthen. So the latest forecast from National Hurricane Center, they're thinking that this could potentially become a hurricane tomorrow, which will make the first hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season. So, I mean, this is pretty big. We haven't had a hurricane yet. We've had tropical storms, so we're on the fifth named storm. It is wedged between two areas of high pressures, which will try to steer this thing away from us. Nonetheless, even though we potentially won't see direct impacts, we could still see indirect impacts, meaning our coastal areas could see rough surf, some erosion as we head into the end of the week and also the upcoming weekend. So we'll continue to watch it, but I mean, it's going to be a little while before it tries to make that turn, Chris.
And I was this morning flexing my limited science knowledge, mostly derived from episodes of The Simpsons, but it's the Coriolis effect. The Coriolis effect is sending it to spin and go northward.
Well, not necessarily. The reason why it has a spin to it is because of the Coriolis force. And at the equator, there's no Coriolis force. That's why we've never had a tropical system or hurricane pass over the equator.
Okay.
If you've never known that. So
I know.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of our weather systems in the northern hemisphere, they have a counterclockwise spin. And then in the southern hemisphere, it's a clockwise spin.
See, the more you know.
So the more you know, but the reason what's steering this thing, as I mentioned before, I like to use the analogy, think of a hurricane or a tropical system as a boat without an engine, just kind of floating around. So you need other factors to kind of steer it. So that's where the area of high pressures come in. Low pressure systems, tropical systems, which is essentially a low pressure system, tries to deviate away from the high pressure system. It's fighting it. So wherever the high pressure systems are located, it's going to try and not be around it. So that's why the thinking as of right now looks like it'll make the turn. But keep in mind, with the area of high pressure over central Florida, it's going to get very hot. I don't mind the heat. I'd rather the heat than a tropical system. So that looks like it's going to be the steering mechanism when it comes to Aaron as we go into the weekend and early next week.
Okay, we got rain in the forecast. It's hot, and we're keeping an eye on Aaron and the cone of uncertainty.
That's right. And there's also another area the National Hurricane Center has highlighted in the Bay of Campeche, which is southwestern Gulf. Has a 20% chance for tropical development. Could be a rainmaker for southern Texas as we head into the weekend.
Okay, lots to keep an eye on out there. As I said earlier this morning, Cone of Uncertainty sounds like an album by Radiohead.
I like to use the cone of concern.
The cone of concern. This fall, Steven Seagal is taking names and bringing justice in. Cone of concern.
You have a better voice for it. Love it.
Yes, a voice for newspaper and a face for radio. All right, Michelle, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would say we'll do this again tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, but
I'm not.
Yeah. You got to work on your 6 things. So, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. All right. So, getting away from weather and back to Central Florida, a bit of an incident this morning in downtown Orlando. The call actually came out about a small explosion, and police and fire both responded to the scene. This turned out to be at a OUC, Orlando Utilities Commission, substation downtown off Robinson, just kind of near I-4 in downtown. Details a little sketchy right now, but we do know that 3 OUC workers were taken to the hospital. One of them sent in under a trauma alert. Another one of our reporters, Angie Cassara, who's at the scene at the time, saw walking in under his own power and getting into the ambulance. So anyway, keeping an eye on this one, but we did check with both OUC and with other businesses and things in the area. No disruption to power, and right now it looks as if all 3 workers are going to be okay, but we're still waiting for updates on their conditions. Of course, as we get more, we'll bring it to you both on clickorlando.com and on News 6 starting at 4 o'clock. Well, from one bit of breaking news to another bit of breaking news from yesterday. On Wednesday, the call came out that a crane had collapsed. The boom of the crane had collapsed diagonally across the roof of a home in Brevard County. This overnight, crews worked to remove the crane and try and fix some of the problems, but you got to imagine these kind of things happen and it causes a lot of damage. Mark Lehman has the story.
With the crane removed, we're getting a closer look at the damage. This is the backside of the home that the crane fell on top of. This shed has been demolished. The boom fell diagonally across the roof. Neighbors are also dealing with the effects of the water pipe that crushed under the weight of that crane. Today we saw crews beginning work to restore water to dozens of homes in Merritt Island, a relief for neighbors who spent the night without the utility.
All night, no sleep. Yes, now we're waiting on the water company to come turn our water back on.
It is a hassle, unfortunately you got to adjust because it is what it is.
It was yesterday afternoon when a crane collapsed on a home off of Mackerel Avenue. A company was installing a telephone pole but says a survey missed an underground water line.
The problem is the boom was so long and extending it over, it put the pressure on the soil there and it crushed the water line and that washed it out and then the crane fell over.
The impact caused serious damage to Jim and Amanda Crane's home.
All the trusses are broke. The ceiling is down on the floor. The crane is in my house.
While the crane is now gone, questions remain about who's responsible for the damage, whether it's the crane operator or the company that was hired to locate the utilities.
We're all going to gather up and help Jim and Amanda and get their lives put back together best we can, and hopefully in a timely manner.
And as work is continuing out here today, the homeowner tells us he's thankful no one was injured in all of this. He also says he's staying with friends as he figures out the next steps in this process. In Merritt Island, Mark Lehman, News 6.
If you're wondering where Kathleen is, she is sitting right over here. We ran out of spots today. And it's unfortunate because I think we were hitting our stride with this, but she'll be back, not tomorrow. I'm off. She's off tomorrow. Monday, we'll get the team back together, and you'll be back to enjoy News 6 Extra as you enjoy it. All right, we'll go to break real quick, but when we come back, first day problems for one school district. That's up ahead. And welcome back to News 6 Extra. I am Christopher Heath. Of course, the first week of school is here, and with it comes a lot of hiccups and problems for both parents and for students and for schools. But a very scary situation in Osceola County. A mother of a special needs child was waiting for her son to get off the bus. Unfortunately, the child had been dropped off at the wrong bus stop. Mike Valenti has this story.
This is the bus stop that 9-year-old Noah Johnson Richardson was supposed to get off at Tuesday, but he did not. And now the Osceola County School District is investigating what happened and why.
I asked her, I said, my kid didn't get off the bus. Where's my kid? And she said, well, who's your kid? And I said, Noah Johnson Richardson. And she said, he probably got off at the other stop. I was not aware that there was another stop.
The other stop where LaQuisha Johnson's son was dropped off was about 10 minutes away. And what you just heard is a conversation she claims she had with the bus attendant when LaQuisha noticed the doors were closing without Noah stepping off the bus.
That attendant didn't even know who my kid was.
His second day at a new school, Noah comes with an IEP. or individualized education program, and he requires certain accommodations, like having a bus aide ensure he gets off at the right stop. But Noah says when he saw kids get off at a stop he recognized as his neighborhood, he followed.
They let me off. They didn't say anything. I just got off, and I just waited until Mom came.
LaQuisha says about 30 minutes went by before she was reunited with Noah, with the help from law enforcement and other concerned parents. The district has since removed the attendant from that route. The district spokesperson says the district is taking this investigation very seriously, and that a member of the district leadership team, as well as someone from the transportation department, spoke to LaQuisha Johnson. Now, pending the outcome of the investigation, the district spokesperson adds, we will take necessary actions and make any changes needed to further ensure student safety. In Osceola County, Mike Valenti, News 6.
You know, increasingly as we start to look out at the world changing with AI becoming ubiquitous and so many different jobs being impacted by AI, a lot of people are now looking at the trades. These are everything from electricians to plumbers to iron workers, and saying, you know, there's jobs there that AI can do a lot of things, but it's not going to be able to wire a house or put in a sewer main. And this is why we started to see kind of a resurgence with people looking at getting into the trades and maybe considering going that route rather than going off to your traditional, 4 years of college. Matt Austin shows us one group in Orlando that's breaking ground on a new facility to help foster that next generation.
The 808.
The local 808's new 3 Wise Men apprentice and training facility is dedicated to 3 contractors who have worked with the union since the 1960s.
They gave me a $350,000 check out of their own bank account.
Wow.
So here, start.
Business manager Bobby Nost says that was back in 2023. Phil Coxwell has since passed, but Wade Ivey and Bill Sheffield were there, along with Coxwell's grandson, to see the groundbreaking and to sign what will be the final beam for the new building. It will train more than 200 apprentices and hundreds of journeymen and women every year.
How big of an issue is it to try to find a good iron worker these days?
It's a big issue. It's a big issue all over the country, too. It's not just Florida,
In fact, according to Associated Builders and Contractors, there were almost 250,000 construction job openings in July.
How many more iron workers could you give work to?
Unlimited.
Unlimited?
Unlimited. So I grow it in stacks. So I get the people and get the work. Get the people, get the work,
That work includes everything from building rocket towers at Cape Canaveral to roller coasters at Epic Universe.
We have guys well over $100,000.
Really?
Average is 75, 80.
And no debt to speak of? Like by the time they graduate in 4 years from your
no
thing,
college,
there's
loans, nothing.
No student loans?
No. No, and they're getting paid the whole time.
Getting paid to learn in an industry that isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Let me ask you this. How many iron workers have been replaced by AI so far?
0.
In Orlando, Matt Austin, News 6.
Yeah. Now, my dad used to always say, you never see a broke plumber. There's a point to be made there. Anyway, all right, from working with your hands, building America, to probably the greatest entertainer of our time. Kathleen's words, not mine. We're talking about Taylor Swift. She's got a new album out, or an album's coming out. Album's out, or is it coming out? It's coming out. It's not with us yet. We're all waiting, anticipating. She announced it with her boyfriend on his podcast with his brother, Travis Kelce, right? Travis Kelce, I know that. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce podcast, 9.26 million views and counting for the announcement. That's a lot. Jared Hill has all of the Swift news that's fit to print.
This is my brand new album.
The world's biggest pop star revealed the cover and title of her latest project, The Life of a Showgirl.
It was something that I was working on while I was in Europe.
During one leg of her most recent Eras tour, which raked in more than $2 billion over 2 years, making it the highest grossing concert tour of all time.
It just comes from like the most infectiously joyful, wild, dramatic place I was in my life.
Swift previewed the project sitting next to her boyfriend, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, and on the podcast he shares with his brother Jason.
it felt like catching lightning in a bottle.
In Kansas City,
she has totally changed everything, turned the world upside down.
Taylor Swift is big business. Shop owner Emily Bordner says they've seen money flow in ever since Swift was seen wearing their jewelry.
She helped me buy my dream house.
The shop is looking forward to Taylor's new release, the 12-track project, a nod to her 12th studio album, including a collaboration with Sabrina Carpenter.
I like to say that I like to look at Taylor Swift's music like it's literature, because I am fully on the bandwagon that I believe that Taylor Swift will go down in history far beyond our lifetimes and be studied in the same way that Shakespeare is today.
Life of a Showgirl comes out October 3rd. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Shakespeare. She said that. You heard it. I heard it. Taylor Swift will be studied the same way we study Shakespeare. Big if true. All right. Listen, Taylor Swift is very talented. Not my cup of tea. I'm the kind of guy who's been to see Metallica 3 times. You know, you put on a little Harvester of Sorrow, or, you know, Seek and Destroy. Maybe a deep cut like Orion or something. But, you know, whatever. It's different strokes for different folks, man. So, but Kathleen will be buying the album. She informed me during the break that Taylor, also her Eras tour, is on Disney Plus. So all of the times I've given her grief for not seeing the various movies that fill my head with whatever's up there. Now, apparently there's one on my list I have to go see, begrudgingly. I will, and I will watch it, and I will enjoy it to the fullest extent of the law. All right, I'm off tomorrow, so Lisa will be sitting in the chair. Kathleen is off tomorrow, so our good friend Penny will be filling in. That's Penny over there. There she is. There she is. She'll be filling in as well. That's tomorrow. But back on Monday, we'll do this all over again. Thank you for watching. We'll see you back here. I'll see you back here on Monday. Lisa will see you tomorrow at 12:30. Otherwise, we'll be on the air today at 4 o'clock for News 6. If I don't talk to you again, have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you Monday. Thanks for watching. Bye.